Hello and welcome to Reno Radio. My name is Naomi Findlay and I am Australia's rapid renovation expert. And each week I will be bringing you valuable tips, information and amazing stories from around the world about renovation. Helping people create wealth through renovating is my passion, as well as creating healthy, wealthy and beautiful spaces to live in and to share. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let the show begin. Hello everyone, it's Naomi here, your rapid renovation expert. And today I want to have a talk to you a little more about what actually goes on during the renovation and what you can do to save yourself some pennies during that time. So you probably already by now know the trades that you're going to be working with. You've got your plumber lined up and your electrician, your licensed builder, your chippy, your painter, and so on and so forth. And that's great because good trades are worth their weight in gold. They will make, the right trades actually, will make the difference during your renovation, making it so much easier, minimizing risk in case anything goes wrong, because the right trades have your back without doubt. So you've already got fixed price quotes maybe on some parts of your renovation that you're working with, and then though other times you might find that you can't go with a fixed price quote. You may have a scope of work detailed for you instead. It's important when you're working out your budget that you have both fixed quotes on the larger jobs and also variable quotes on things that maybe you can't put an exact dollar figure on. For example, demolition or construction work to some degree. And so in some circumstances, for example, there might be a preparation of a quote based on a specific scope of work. Things like excavation or demolishing or clearing a site. And sometimes the scope or the quote you've been given falls a little short of what's actually required on the renovation project once it begins. And you know what? This type of stuff happens. It could be because there was more soil than they thought to get rid of out of that area, or they hit a rock shelf when they were trying to pop in a retaining wall, and hence it's actually going to cost more money than expected. So these sorts of things happen. Even when you have a very firm estimate, sometimes you do need to move and jiggle, which can mean that you do need to then try and make up your cash and decrease your budget somewhere else. So how do we do this? How do we stop our budgets and our costs spiraling out of control? And how do we stop, losing a hold of that end goal and end profit? And one way you can do this is to minimize the amount of time that you take up of your precious trades. So after all, time equals money, right? And for you and for your trades, time equals lots of money. To save your trades some time and in turn save you some hard-earned cash, here are 4 of my top tips that are going to come in really handy when you're on site. They'll allow you to, maybe look at it a little bit more differently, and remember that every little bit of work counts when you're renovating for wealth, right? So the first one is keep as much as you can on site. So I want you to picture this. Imagine your builder. He's coming back to site every day for maybe 3 weeks. Pulls up in his ute, he pulls out his tools and he lugs them all down to the site. Everything that is necessary for that day of work. The sawhorses, the benches, the drop saws, you name it. He packs it all away every day, which takes half an hour. And then the next morning he brings it all out and sets it all up again. So I want you to imagine that every one of your trades may be doing a similar thing each and every day. So wouldn't it be easier just to have him leave his essential tools at the property? It would certainly save a lot of time in setting up and packing away each day. Even if those trades were on a fixed price contract, you're still saving them the effort of doing it. If there is the space on the property where a trade can leave their tools locked away for them only in a secure way, this could make the world of difference. Not only with you saving money, but you'll end up with a happier trade who doesn't want a happier trade working on their renovation project. So the second thing you can do is keep it neat and tidy. So this is all about how clean your site is. Sure, it's a construction site. There's dust and dirt and mess everywhere, but it doesn't mean that you can't do small things to minimize that. So just because it's a construction site, it doesn't mean that your trades need to work in an area that's overly dirty or has a lot of building waste. So absolutely, your carpenter probably left a pile of his offcuts on the floor. The tiler maybe left all his spaces lying around or trudged in muddy boots. But remember, the reason that you have them there in the first place is to do what they're skilled at. And if your electrician has to follow in your chippy and your tiler and has to sweep away and pick up all these offcuts before he gets to what he's actually there for, not are you only wasting his time and your money, but you're probably dampening his enthusiasm for the project too. So let your trades stick to what they're good at. A plumber should remain plumbing, a carpenter should remain doing the carpentry. So one thing you can do is do a site clean, pick up the rubbish, sweep away the sawdust, pick up the offcuts, remove the tiling spaces. This is something that can add such value to the process. Now, the third thing you can do is be, and I say this carefully, be the personal assistant. So does anyone want a coffee, I ask? This is actually the third tip. It's being the errand guy or gal. Now, I know that might not sound great, right? And I'm not suggesting that you let your tradies take advantage of you by doing their everyday tasks, but it is mutually beneficial if you help out by checking up on supplies or, even grabbing them a coffee when you're out. After all, this is as much about efficiency on site as it is about building relationships. And if you're going to want to continue renovating for wealth, this is a great place to start. Plus, the less time your trades spend off-site chasing supplies, the more time they'll have to spend actually completing your renovation. So you know what? If you need to call the tile shop to get the tiles, if you need to pick up some extra timber sleepers whilst you're running about town, do it. And the last one is all about rolling up your sleeves and not being afraid to get a little dirty. So even if you're paying your trades to do most of your grunt work, there's nothing stopping you rolling up those sleeves and getting involved. See how much of the job you can do yourself. If you need to put in new stormwater, find out if you can dig the trenches yourself. If you need to be moving a pile of concrete to lay down the new drive, see if you can do that yourself. So doing the unskilled stuff yourself can save you massively on labour costs. It can get the job done faster, and it can mean that you're around on site and a real part of that team. So save yourself time and money. Build strong relationships with your trade team with these 4 tips. Happy renovating, guys. Hey renovators, if you're ready to take the next step in your renovation journey, then come learn how to renovate with me in my online Renovation Masterclass. It's completely free for all of you listeners. So if you want to discover how to renovate properties for profit, head over to naomifindlay.com/renovation masterclass, where I'll show you how the 7 steps to my winning rapid renovation formula create a 6-figure income for me and many of my students. So save your spot today. Remember, it's naomifindlay.com/renovation masterclass. See you soon.